The plane dropped, a sickening lurch that sent a wave of panic through the cabin. In the tense, suffocating silence that followed, punctuated only by a few muffled sobs, people started typing frantic goodbyes on their phones. My hand was clamped around Sophia's, a desperate anchor in the chaos. But out of the corner of my eye, I saw her screen. The message she was sending, her last will and testament, wasn't for her parents. It wasn't for me. It was for my best friend, Ben Carter. Sophia's lips were a thin, white line. It took her a long moment to find her voice. "Don't misunderstand," she whispered, her voice trembling. "He's the person we both trust the most, right?" Thankfully, it was a false alarm. The landing was rough, but we were safe. My legs felt like jelly as I walked off the plane. The first thing I did was call Ben. "Time to head to the notary," I said, my voice flat. "I'll be the witness." "One." Ben's voice exploded through the phone. "Ethan, what the hell are you talking about? I just saw the news about the flight malfunction. Are you okay?" "Dude, I'm on my way to the airport now. Hang tight." He hung up. Sophia walked beside me, her expression a careful mix of relief and frustration. "Look, your parents, my parents. They're not young. I didn't want them to have a heart attack. That's why I sent it to Ben." "Ethan, come on." Okay, I'm sorry. It was a mistake." She took my hand, pulling me to a stop and planting a quick, soft kiss on my cheek. "Don't be mad. Ben's probably going to tear me a new one when he sees me. Are you really going to let him yell at your loving wife?" A cold knot formed in my stomach. I pulled my hand away and walked on. Sophia hurried to catch up, whispering apologies and sweet nothings. We saw Ben's car screech to a halt at the curb. The panic in his eyes as he jumped out looked genuine. But I saw it clearly. The first person he looked for, his eyes scanning desperately, was Sophia. Then he saw me. He rushed forward, wrapping me in a bear hug that felt hollow. He released me and immediately turned on Sophia. "What the hell is wrong with you?" he snapped. "Sending me a damn well? You scared the life out of me." Sophia managed a weak smile. "Hey, we're okay. And besides, if something had happened, I knew you'd be the one to handle everything for us." She nudged me playfully. And can you believe it? Ethan's actually jealous about it. She laughed it off, a casual joke between friends. Ben just rolled his eyes at her before ushering me into his car. I watched them, the easy, natural way they bantered, the complete lack of boundaries. It was so normal it made my skin crawl. Back home, I mumbled something about being exhausted and went straight to the bedroom. But sleep was impossible. My mind was racing. Sophia and I had been together for 8 years. We were just back from our honeymoon. I thought I knew everything about her. But in that moment between life and death, when all I could think about was never letting her go, she had been thinking of Ben. She called it a will. But in the heightened reality of my fear, my senses had been razor sharp. I saw the words she'd typed before sending them to him. All my assets to him. And one more line, what was still is. I dug my nails into my palms. A moment later, I heard her call from the living room. "Ethan, I'm just walking Ben downstairs. I'll be right back." I got up silently and walked into the living room. Her phone was on the coffee table. Impulse, raw and undeniable, took over. I walked over, typed in her passcode, our anniversary, and started searching. I checked WhatsApp, her texts, her emails. Nothing. Was I just being paranoid? My hand shaking, I opened her phone settings, then navigated to her saved account for Instagram. And there it was. A second account, logged in and ready. No password needed. It was clearly used often. Here, I found it all. Their entire history. The first message was dated 8 years ago. Back when Sophia and I had just met. It turned out Ben knew her even before I did. "You're so lucky. You got to meet the campus heartthrob. Ethan Cole has standards, you know. Not just anyone gets his attention. You should ask Ethan to play tennis today. He loves tennis. Don't say I never help you out. Now, go make a good impression." So, I'm a good wingman, right? Ethan's my boy. If you ever betray him, you'll have to answer to me first. The messages evolved. From him helping her win me over, to them discussing our dates, our relationship milestones, even our sex life. It started with her hesitant replies, which then bloomed into guilt-ridden confessions, and finally, into a shared, illicit thrill. In 20 minutes, I scrolled through 8 years of betrayal. I took photos of everything I needed with my own phone, logged her out, and locked the screen. Then I walked to the window. Down below, in the parking lot, I saw them. Ben and Sophia, wrapped in a tight embrace under a streetlight. A brief, stolen touch of hands, a lingering caress. They looked exactly like two lovers saying a painful goodbye. I took a deep breath and felt something inside me, something I thought was solid and unbreakable, crumble into dust. Hashtag, chapter 2. I didn't sleep a wink. When Sophia finally came back, she slipped into bed behind me, wrapping her arms around my waist. The feeling of her breath on my neck made me physically ill. I pushed her away and went to the guest room. First thing the next morning, I was out the door. I couldn't stand being under the same roof with her. The thought of it made me want to vomit. Sophia called while I was in my lawyer's office, a draft of a divorce petition open on the table in front of me. I took a deep breath and answered. "Where did you go so early?" she asked. "Honeymoon's over. Just came to the office to get a head start on my workload." I was amazed at how calm I sounded, how easily the lie came. Sophia bought it completely. "Okay, good. I got a busy day too, so I won't be home for lunch. By the way, I sent you a little something. Should be delivered today." After we hung up, the lawyer looked at me with concern. "Are you all right?" She pushed a glass of water toward me. I gave her a weak smile and a nod of thanks. Then I pointed at a clause in the petition. "Add this," I said, my voice hard as steel. "Everything we acquired during the marriage. It's all mine. She's the at-fault party. I want a 90-10 split. With evidence of long-term infidelity, that's a strong position. She won't want this to go to court. Sophia, I would burn her world to the ground." The gift she sent, a pathetic attempt at an apology, was a watch. It cost $2,000. Minutes after it arrived, Ben called. "Man, some guys have all the luck," he said, his tone infuriatingly cheerful. "All she did was send me a text yesterday, and today she's dropping $2,000 on a watch for you. Seriously, dude, don't be so dramatic. Just forgive her already." Listening to him make excuses for her, hearing the undertone of accusation in his voice, as if I were the one being unreasonable, I had to stop myself from laughing out loud. I was being made out to be the petty one. He must have noticed my silence after his rambling. "Hello, Ethan? You still there?" "I don't really feel like talking," I said. "Probably just jet lag." Right. Well, get some rest. We'll catch up later." As soon as he hung up, I went to work. I searched for every social media account I knew Ben had. We've been friends for years, but it was Sophia who had made us a tight-knit trio for the last 5. I scoured his Facebook, his Twitter, his public Instagram. Nothing. Then I remembered something. I went through his following list on Instagram until I found it. The profile picture was a chubby cartoon boy. He once told me he looked just like that as a kid. I clicked on it. It was his private account, a Finsta, and it was a shrine to his relationship with Sophia. Her face was never fully visible, but after 8 years, I knew her from every angle. A blurry shot of her back, a fleeting glimpse of her profile as she turned her head. It was her, unequivocally. They had a whole secret life, a secret home. I scrolled through his posts, his digital diary. The bio read, "The story of Mr. Rabbit and Ms. Fox. 8 years, 3 months, and counting. July 13th, 2017. Saw Ms. Fox for the first time today. Love at first sight isn't just in the movies. Got her number, found out we go to the same university. Basically forced my way into the same student club she's in. October 1st, 2017. My roommate and my crush are friends now. He's got this deep, gravelly voice he turns on whenever she's around. Are all women suckers for that? He beat me to it. Damn it. It hurts." December 25th, 2017. A Christmas miracle? Things might be turning around. She told me she's conflicted, that she feels like she has more in common with me. 8 years. Over 1,000 posts. I read every single one, and each word was a fresh stab to the heart. Just 3 months after Sophia, and I made it official, she was already playing games with him. For a long moment, I just sat there numb. Then, a tidal wave of fury washed over me. "Sophia, how could you do this to our 8 years?" In that instant, all I wanted was to ruin her. Her mother's 60th birthday was in 2 days. A perfect opportunity. Over the years, my mother-in-law had always been incredibly kind to me. It was a shame I had to disappoint her now. I found a vintage Omega watch she had given me, a family heirloom, my father-in-law's, and placed it back in its presentation box. Then I went out and bought a $2,000 handbag, putting both gifts into a larger, beautifully wrapped box. 2 days later, I reminded Sophia before she left for work. "It's your mom's birthday today. Try to be home early." She promised she would, then breezed out the door. I took the day off. I packed my suitcases, then went to the hardware store and bought a sledgehammer. Back at our apartment, I took a deep breath and swung it at the living room wall. 3 hours later, the place was a wreck. I dragged my luggage out, grabbed the gift box, and drove straight to my in-laws' house. When I arrived, Ben was already there. He greeted me like he owned the place, slinging a familiar arm around my shoulders. "Ethan, there you are. We've been waiting for you." I watched, stone-faced, as he guided me to a seat and got me a glass of water, playing the perfect host. My mother-in-law sat on the sofa, smiling warmly at him, not seeing anything wrong with the picture. My heart sank even further. She knew. They all knew. I was the only one in the dark. "Where's Sophia?" I asked. It was already 6. She should have been here by now. I was about to text her when Ben spoke up. "Oh, Sophia said she has a late meeting tonight. She'll be about half an hour late." A humorless smile touched my lips. "She's certainly honest with you. That's news to me." Ben froze for a second, then recovered with a laugh. "Oh, I wouldn't know. Her mom called her, and I just overheard. I just got here myself," he added quickly. "Sophia said the more, the merrier." My mother-in-law chimed in. "Yes, Sophia's just so busy with work. After a month off for the honeymoon, she has a lot to catch up on. You have to be understanding, Ethan." Before I could answer, Ben threw his arm around me again, grinning at her. "Our Ethan is the most understanding guy I know. He gets it, right?" I just smiled and said nothing. Half an hour later, right on cue, Sophia arrived. She came straight to my side, sat down, and started peeling an orange for me. Once everyone was seated for dinner, I presented the gift. "Happy birthday, Mom. This is for you." My mother-in-law took the box. When she opened it and saw the designer handbag, Ben let out an appreciative whistle. "Whoa, Ethan, you've got great taste. That must have cost a fortune. 2,000. She immediately tried to close the box. "It's too much." No, Ethan. You and Sophia work hard for your money. You shouldn't be so extravagant." "It's fine, Mom," I said casually. "If I don't spend the money on you, she'll just spend it on another man. I'd rather you have it." She looked stunned. "Ethan, don't say things like that." I just smiled. "Keep looking. There's something else in there." When she lifted the handbag out and saw the smaller box underneath, her expression changed instantly. Her face went pale as she opened it and saw the Omega watch. "Ethan," she said, her voice sharp, "what is the meaning of this?" Sophia grabbed my wrist. "Ethan, what are you doing? You don't take back a gift like that." Ben chimed in, tried to sound helpful. "Hey man, don't be crazy. This is a really bad look." I looked at their faces, shock, fear, panic. Sophia grabbed the watch and tried to force it back into my hand. I pulled away and stood up. "You're right," I said, my voice ringing with clarity in the suddenly silent room. "I'm returning it, and we're getting a divorce." The room was in shock. My in-laws just stared at each other. Ethan, my father-in-law, finally managed. "What on earth happened?" Sophia was furious. "Is this seriously because I sent Ben that message during the flight? I already told you why I did it. Why are you blowing this up into a reason for divorce?" Ben jumped in, playing the peacemaker. "Ethan, we explained everything. If you're this angry over a misunderstanding, then I'm the one who caused all this trouble. I really shouldn't have come today." "No, you absolutely should have," I said, turning to face them both. "I know everything. About you and Sophia. About your little love nest. The oasis at Saltwater Point, apartment 602. Right?" I locked my eyes on them. As I said the address, I saw a flicker of pure panic in Sophia's eyes. "You two got together 3 months after Sophia and I started dating. You lied to me for 8 years. And you, Ben," I said, my voice dripping with contempt. "You call me your brother for 8 years. Was it fun, the two of you playing me for a fool?" Their faces turned ashen. They were speechless. My mother-in-law shot up from her chair. "Sophia, is what Ethan is saying true? Answer me. Is it true?" Sophia just stared at the floor. I took a deep breath. "I've already collected all the evidence. Here's the divorce agreement. You have 3 days to think it over." I turned to my mother-in-law and gave a slight bow. "I'm sorry. I know today is your birthday, and I didn't want to do this. But she wasn't just late. She brought him here. I can't forgive that. I have to go." I walked out. Sophia ran after me. "Ethan, wait, listen to me. It was an accident. We just talked, that's it." We never did anything. Suddenly, the woman I had loved for 8 years disgusted me. It's not just about sleeping together. Emotional cheating is still cheating. The first time you agreed to meet him behind my back, the first time you chose not to shut him down, you were both dead to me. Without another word, I got in my car and drove away. In the rearview mirror, I could see her running after me, but I felt nothing. Back in my small condo, my phone rang. It was Sophia, her voice laced with fury. "You're a real bastard, Ethan. Did you have to do that? You destroyed our home. You destroyed it first, didn't you? You destroyed the idea of home I had in my heart. I just destroyed the building. Seems fair to me. Besides, I paid for the renovations. I was just returning it to its original state. If you don't like it, call the cops." I hung up. I wanted to block her number, but I needed her to sign the papers. I could hear her screaming in frustration before the line went dead. She was finally breaking down. Ben, on the other hand, stayed silent. He didn't call to apologize. He knew me well enough to know it would be useless. I'm a quiet guy, but once my mind is made up, there's no changing it. Later, I checked his private Instagram account. He'd post a new video. The caption read, "Some people will do anything to ruin a nice family birthday over nothing." A few hundred people had liked it, leaving comments of support. I was stunned. How could the other man so brazenly play the victim? I shook my head and saw he'd posted again, this time a longer text post. "She's heartbroken and furious tonight, betrayed by the person she trusted most, and on her own mother's birthday. What kind of monster does something like that, with no regard for an elderly woman's health? It's just disgusting." He never mentioned me by name, but when someone in the comments asked what happened, he replied, "Just some psycho making a scene and ruining a family party. Truly pathetic." A chorus of supporters chimed in, some even offering advice on how to deal with people like me. He responded with a laughing emoji. Honestly, I don't want to waste my energy on people like that. It's better to just let it go than to engage with their drama. Everyone praised him for being so mature and high-minded. I almost laughed out loud. A mature person wouldn't have done what he did in the first place. I didn't respond. I just waited. 3 days passed. Sophia started ghosting me. She wouldn't meet, wouldn't answer my calls. I had no choice but to go to her office. When she saw me waiting in the lobby, she visibly flinched, a look of panic on her drawn, tired face. "What are you doing here? You didn't sign the papers, and you won't take my calls." I came to ask why. Sophia shook her head. "Ethan, I don't want a divorce. It was a moment of weakness. I never betrayed our marriage, and—" "Stop." I cut her off. "Do you even believe the words coming out of your mouth? If you don't sign, I'll have no choice but to make this whole thing public." She grabbed my hand, her grip desperate. "I know I messed up. I know it was wrong. But you can't just sentence me to death over one mistake. You destroyed our home, and I took it. I know I was wrong. But we never slept together. We were just friends. We just talked." She still wouldn't admit the truth. "Sophia, do I have to post videos of you two in bed before you'll admit you cheated?" I bluffed, my voice cold. "I never realized how shameless you could be. You can do the crime, but can't admit to it. If you don't sign, I will help you go public." Sophia stared at me, dumbfounded. "Ethan, when did you become like this?" "That was it." I laughed. "You cheated. You're the one who did something wrong. And you have the nerve to ask why I've changed? Where's your shame, Sophia? Here's the deal. You have one more day. If you don't sign by then, don't blame me for what happens next." I slapped a fresh copy of the divorce agreement against her chest. "Sign it, or I expose everything. Your choice." I turned and walked away without looking back. As it happened, an opportunity had just opened up in my company, a 2-year assignment at our overseas branch. I put my name in immediately. My boss, a sharp woman in her 50s, raised an eyebrow. "Ethan, you just got married. Are you sure your wife is okay with you leaving?" "You can lose everything else," I said, "but your career is your own." "Well, you've got the drive, I'll give you that. As long as there's no drama from home, I'm fine with it. I'm getting a divorce." My boss, a powerhouse who had seen it all, looked surprised for a moment, then simply nodded. "Okay, I'll get the paperwork pushed through." The company approved my transfer with surprising speed. Within a day, it was a done deal. I started packing up my small condo, a place my parents had bought for me years ago. I told them everything. They were furious. When my mom found out it was Ben, she was ready to go over there and raise hell, but I stopped her. The most important thing right now is to finalize the divorce. Mom, Dad, I'm leaving for London soon. I'll be gone for about 2 years. I need you to handle things here. My mom, a firecracker in her own right, immediately understood. She calmed down, her mind shifting into battle mode. Ethan's right. We can't let these two trash bags ruin his future. This London assignment is a huge step up. His career comes first. All right, old man, we'll divide and conquer. I'll talk to Sophia's mother. You go talk to Ben's family. I'll be damned if my son is the one who suffers while they get to act like nothing happened. Chapter 6. My mom was a force of nature. In her younger days, nobody in the neighborhood could win an argument with her. With my parents on the case, I knew things would get done. It wasn't long before Sophia called me, her voice shrill with rage. Ethan, you're ruthless. Now the entire neighborhood knows I cheated. You brought that on yourself, I said calmly. Did you sign the papers? Let's meet and talk this over. If we're getting divorced, we need to discuss the assets. I can't believe that after 8 years, all you care about is money. What else is there? Would you share a toothbrush with someone else? I wouldn't. I find it disgusting. Your damaged goods, used by him God, knows how many times, and now you want to negotiate with me? I would rather go to war, get nothing, and ruin your reputation than let you walk away with a dime. That shut her up. Her job paid well, but the market was tough, and her company was in the middle of layoffs. The threat of losing her career was real. The once defiant Sophia caved. She agreed to sign. I booked my flight immediately. It was just for a month to start. I could fly back to get the final divorce decree when the cooling-off period was over. After we filed the paperwork at the courthouse, Sophia looked at me, her eyes filled with a strange, lingering attachment. Ethan, don't say anything. I cut her off. From now on, we are strangers. I'll see you in a month. I didn't block her. I wanted to see just how shameless she could be. Meanwhile, news that Ben Carter, the homewrecker, had destroyed a marriage spread through our community like wildfire. My dad had tried to be civil at first, going to Ben's parents to explain the situation. They've been dismissive. That just means our Ben is a real catch. They boasted. That was a mistake. My dad, thoroughly insulted, went on the offensive. He talked to everyone in their building. He posted a carefully worded, anonymous summary of events on the neighborhood's private Facebook group. It didn't take long for the post to go semi-viral in our suburban bubble. Ben's private Instagram was eventually discovered and linked to the story. Enraged, he posted on it, calling me an animal. I didn't hesitate. I screenshotted his post and exposed him publicly, the thief crying foul. You two started sneaking around 3 months into my relationship with Sophia. You talk about who was there first, but she never chose you. You were always the side piece. You two dogs got your thrill by lying to me for 8 years. Now that I'm taking out the trash and giving it back to you, you're throwing a fit? I followed up by posting photos of my relationship with Sophia over the years, including our marriage certificate. Homewreckers never win. I'll be waiting for your karma. My words were a direct hit. He never expected me to be so decisive, to completely discard our 8-year friendship. While Ben was frantically calling me, I was already on a plane to London. I didn't answer a single call. I got a new UK number and put my old one away. Sophia wasn't having a good time either. Ben had been so arrogant, leaving a massive trail of digital evidence. Online sleuths had a field day. I delivered the final blow. I packaged up all the evidence of the affair and sent it directly to her boss. Sophia had been on the fast track for a promotion. She was considered a key employee. This scandal sent her career into a nosedive. By then, I was tearing it up at the London office. I didn't have time for their drama. Other than a quick trip back to finalize the divorce, I cut off all contact. A month later, I landed back in the States. The first thing I did was text Sophia, City Hall. Be there. Sophia's voice was a frantic rush when she answered my call. Ethan, where have you been? I've been looking everywhere for you. Your parents said you left and weren't coming back. Your office wouldn't tell me anything. I've been searching for you for a month. You're finally back. From the sound of it, the last month had been hell for her. She sounded thin, and I could picture her looking disheveled and worn out. Sophia, do you have her ID? The 30-day waiting period is up today. The light in her voice died. Ethan, can we not do this? Please. Not possible. Sophia, I flew all the way back here for this. If you don't agree, I'll just sue. When the evidence comes out in court, it's not going to look good for you. Let's just part ways amicably. The last 8 years drained every ounce of love I had. The moment I found out the truth, I wanted to kill you both. And now you're asking me not to divorce you? How am I supposed to live with a woman who cheated on me for 8 years? Get your documents. Get in the car. Her eyes were red and swollen, but she went and got her things. We got the divorce certificate without any issues. As I was about to leave, she put her hand on my car door. Ethan, I've done a lot of thinking this past month. I know I was wrong, but he seduced me, Ben. Don't. I don't want to hear it. It's over. There's no going back. I pushed her hand away, got in the car, and drove off. In my rearview mirror, I saw her collapse to the sidewalk, sobbing. I felt nothing. It wasn't until I was miles away, stopped at a red light, that the tears finally came. 8 years. I had given so much of myself to Sophia. I had once imagined our entire future together. I thought she was the love of my life. I thought I was the luckiest man alive, with a perfect wife and a brother for a best friend. Ben and I had been friends since high school. We sat next to each other, shared everything, pushed each other through the grueling pressure of exams and college applications. We ended up at the same university, even as roommates. We were inseparable. I never knew he knew Sophia before me. If I had known he had feelings for her, I never would have pursued her. But the two people I trusted most in the world had stabbed me in the back. Thinking back now, I felt like such an idiot. There were so many signs, countless times when their friendship seemed to cross a line, but I just brushed it off. I trusted them. I trusted Sophia, my partner, and Ben, my best friend. Of course they would be close. And Ben played his part so perfectly. If I hadn't seen that text on the plane, I would have been their fool forever. Sophia, wanting her cake and eating it too, destroyed us all. And Ben, I have nothing to say for him. The friendship I valued so much meant nothing to him. After leaving the courthouse, I posted a picture of the divorce certificate online. Ben's social media had already been bombarded. When he saw my post, he called me. Ethan, why? He demanded. Why won't you just let it go? Why do you have to keep persecuting me? You're asking me why? I should be asking you. All those years, Ben, was our friendship a complete lie? 8 years. You were the best man at my wedding. What were you thinking that day? Watching the woman you were sleeping with stand next to me in a wedding dress. Did it make you feel powerful? Or did it break your heart? Ben was silent. We can never be friends again, Ben. Don't ever contact me again. Hashtag chapter 8. I hung up and blocked his number. According to mutual friends, things got really bad for Ben. When the full story came out, he tried to claim that he knew Sophia first and that I was the one who had stolen her. But our friends from high school and college quickly shut that down, posting about how close we had been and how he had spent years pretending to be my best friend while secretly calling me a monster online and trying to get strangers to harass me. Most people, thankfully, can tell the difference between the wrong party and the homewrecker. A college friend texted me, Ethan, don't let it get you down. Trash takes itself out. They'll get what's coming to them. I smiled. It's fine. They're not important enough to affect me. That month in London, I had thrown myself into work, too busy to even think about them, let alone engage in their online drama. Stepping onto the plane back to London, I truly left it all behind. The assignment was for 2 years. Other than that one trip back to finalize the divorce, I spent the entire time working. I worked on holidays, met with clients on my days off. Even my British colleagues told me I was a machine. I just wanted to be the best I could be in the time I had. In the divorce settlement, Sophia had agreed to the 90-10 split. It wasn't a fortune. I had destroyed the condo we lived in, and our savings were only about $100,000. Sophia gave me her share, about 90 grand. With that money, I started learning to invest. 2 years later, when I returned to the States for good, the first thing my parents told me was that Sophia and Ben had gotten married. My mom scoffed as she told the story. Who else would have him? Every time he started dating someone, I'd find a way to make sure she knew the whole story. Why should he get a happy ending after wrecking our family? I made it my mission. His parents eventually came to me, begging, offering me money. Please, as if that would fix anything. She was still fuming. I was determined to make sure he ended up alone. And guess what? His only option was to go crawling back to Sophia. So now they're married, and from what I hear, their life is a living hell. I knew it was possible they'd end up together. After all that, who else would they have? But I don't think they ever anticipated my mother's relentless campaign. She made it a hobby to stroll through their new neighborhood, telling anyone who would listen what they'd done. On top of that, Sophia had been demoted at her old job, taking a massive pay cut, and couldn't support Ben's lifestyle. When Sophia was with me, she loved expensive surprises. Ben had always benefited from that. The $2,000 watch she bought me, she turned around and bought him one worth $5,000. He saw her as a meal ticket, but after the scandal, she was forced to quit. She thought her talent would land her a new job easily, but the market was terrible. And during background checks for the few offers she got, her previous employer was brutally honest about her problematic conduct. Several companies rescinded their offers. She eventually landed a job at a big tech firm, but she was already 30 when she married Ben, an age when that industry starts looking for younger talent. They had to buy a big house, and she had to help Ben's family out. He has a younger brother who is the family favorite. Ben had leached off me when we were friends, and now he was leeching off her. She had to give his parents $40,000 for the wedding. Hashtag chapter 9. Sophia didn't have the money, so she had to take out a loan. They were still paying it off. My mom looked at me and smiled. That's what she gets for not appreciating what she had. Her own mother came to see me once, going on and on about how wonderful you are. Too bad her own daughter didn't have the sense to see it. Don't you worry, she added, patting my arm. We'll find you someone 100 times better than her. I just smiled. When I got home, all our relatives and friends were there to welcome me back. Every single one of them wanted to set me up on a date. I politely declined them all. Right now, my only focus was my career. Anything else was just a distraction. Seeing me like this, my mom didn't push. A good man is always in demand, especially one with a great salary and his own money. He can have his pick of women when he's ready. Sophia heard I was back and tried to see me. I refused. My friends couldn't believe she still had the nerve. Seeing what she had become, they all shook their heads, telling me how much she regretted everything. We always said she didn't deserve you, Ethan, one of them told me. Don't you dare go back. Don't you dare feel sorry for her. Another friend started sending me profiles of eligible women. Ethan, check out my old college roommate. 32, never married, brilliant engineer, great personality. Let me introduce you. Ethan, look at this one. My little sister, 28, sweet as can be, and a total smoke show, if you know what I mean. Looking at the people around me, all showing their support in their own ways, I realized just how much love I had ignored back then, when all I could see was Sophia. Eventually, after Sophia tried to contact me a few more times, I just called Ben. Control your wife? I said, and hung up. She never bothered me again. Now, I leave my apartment with the sunrise and come home under the stars. Every day is a new landscape. Every experience is different, just like people. Some are in your past, and that's where they belong. New people, new experiences will always come to fill the spaces they left behind. My life was my own again, and it had never felt bigger.